Chrissy, let's take a moment to tell the listeners what we knew already, okay? And that is, we are focusing on easy ways to avoid probate. What's a hard and expensive way to avoid probate? A living trust, okay?
Yes.
Sometimes they're appropriate for clients. Many times there are easy ways to avoid probate and not a living trust, which is complicated and expensive.
And every day we both get calls, people asking about that they want to get a living trust because they want to avoid probate. And it is just the greatest joy to be able to tell them there are easy ways.
Yes, living trust is complicated and expensive. Now, why am I saying this? Because yesterday I had another client who came to me with a living trust, let's call it 2 inches thick, all right? Done by a well-known attorney. I see her advertising in the newspaper, copycat. And I told these people, wow, you never needed a living trust to avoid probate. This is a scam. And they looked at me and they go, yeah, this was a scam. 2 inches thick. Why is it 2 inches thick? Because when it's 2 inches thick, the attorney can charge a whole lot of money and justify it.
And did the attorney help them avoid probate by what they did?
No. The living trust was empty. Didn't put their home in the living trust. Their home was still going through probate. So they paid all that money. And what did they get? Nothing. Nothing. So here's the lesson I'm trying to tell you folks out there. If you call most of the lawyers in Florida and you speak these words, I want to avoid probate, they're going to tell you you need a complicated and therefore expensive living trust. We're here to tell you that there are simple tools to avoid probate.
Absolutely. And once again, Tom, we get calls like this every day. If somebody speaks the words to an attorney, I need a trust to avoid probate, many of the attorneys are going to say, okay.
Okay, we'd love to do you one.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the sad part of that is that not only, again, do they pay a lot for something that they may not need, but the worst of all, we know, just like the clients you had yesterday, they now have a false sense of security.
Yes. People think I've got a living trust, everything's going to be okay. That's not necessarily true. So, folks, again, we're focusing on simple tools to avoid probate. We do regular workshops on those. We have one coming up Thursday, but even if you can't come this Thursday, you can still call or text Chrissy. We'll get you on a list for an upcoming one.
Exactly. And furthermore, absolutely, all you listeners out there, if you have a living trust, feel free to call us. Call or text me at 407-808-8398. And Tom, me, we will be happy to review what you have for free.
Okay, we will do that. So, first of all, we want to say, look, a living trust can be the appropriate tool for avoiding probate in limited circumstances, okay? The vast majority of people out there who want to avoid probate, they do not need a living trust. Some people do need a living trust. We can help you make that decision. If you need a living trust, we're going to do a living trust for you.
Exactly.
But what we really want to emphasize is, number one, you probably don't need a living trust to avoid probate. There are simple tools available to you. And number two, even as important, is if you have a living trust, you are probably under a false sense of security that everything's going to be okay and you've avoided probate because you've got a notebook that's got 2 inches worth of documents in it. And how could it not be okay after you paid all that money?
Correct. And we will be happy to review what you have for free to let you know if, hey, you're A-okay, or if not, what you would need to do to correct it.
All right. You want to get your trust reviewed? You want to come to our workshops on easy ways to avoid probate? It starts by calling or texting Chrissy anytime, 407-808-8398.